I do this, I can be as thick as blade. Boom, boom, ba-doo, ba-da-doo, da-da-doo, boom, boom, ba-doo, ba-da-doo, da-da-doo. Some fries, motherfucker.
Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. Do 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 do.
Daywalker.
We are not going to panic. What the heck even happened here, man? Vengeance. Strength Daddy! Give him a hockey stick! Motherfucking magician, man! Am I some kind of fucking magician, man? Nerd. Nerd. Whatever. It's not like we're professionals anyway. And I'm not sorry. Time to big friend. Every day, yes. What is the air hole of trains?
Welcome to another episode of the Laser Coma Podcast. Episode. That's lightning. That's that sound. I can't make a lightning sound. 141.
Good thing one of us has the power to insert such sound effects into the
Is
episode.
such a power even possible? Wow, 141 episodes of watching TV shows. Me, NeoCal, and with my bud, Siege. Hello, welcome.
Christopher Siege, yes. I am one of your vampiric hosts.
And if you're wondering why we're making lightning sounds and why I was doing a bad Transylvanian accent, it is because we're extending Shocktober because of sickness, moving, and whatever things that happen IRL. Now we're going all the way into November. That's right.
Yeah, so here on the Lasercomb podcast for the month of October, we were planning on doing a programming block known as Shocktober. This will be the fourth installment of our annual Shocktober block, which happens every October. I'm kind of retroactively calling it the fourth installment because our first horror month was October of 2022, which we just called Horror Month. But since then, every year I've been calling it Shocktober, so I'm retroactively being like, that was the first Shocktober.
Yeah.
In spirit.
Yeah.
So this is Night of Shocktober Part 4 here on the Lasercomb podcast. But yeah, because as Cal mentioned, IRL stuff, life kind of got in the way. We're only actually going to be able to put out one episode in the month of Shocktober. So we are going to continue the block. We're gonna keep the horror going. We're gonna keep the screams alive into next month with a new block that we have decided to dub November to Dismember. Diddly-doo, diddly-doo-doo. But yeah, so on this episode of the Lasercomb podcast, one that is the one and only episode that is going to debut in the month of Shocktober, we are talking about a TV show that I wanted to cover for a while. This is a TV show that I watched a little bit back in the day, but like wasn't super into. But I remember seeing it back in the year of our Lord 2006. We are talking about Blade.
Blade.
Now,
the
Blade
Daywalker himself.
Now, if you're like a lot of people that I have mentioned this show to in recent weeks, you're like, Blade? Aren't those movies? Yes, they are. There were 3 Blade films based on the very, very, very loosely based on the Marvel Comics character. In 2006, there was a series that lasted for 1 season of 10 episodes, I believe, that aired on
Right.
SpikeTV. That was co-created by David S. Goyer, one of the writers, or the writer of the Blade trilogy, and indeed he wrote, or he directed the 3rd installment, Blade Trinity, the best of the bunch. Come at me. No. I'm joking. David S.
Nobody
Goyer
believes
actually.
that.
No, Blade Trinity is pretty terrible. It does have Natasha Lyonne in it in
and
a small role.
And Ryan.
Ryan Reynolds.
One of the Ryans. Yeah,
it has Ryan Reynolds in it before he was Ryan Reynolds.
I mean, he wasn't a nobody then.
No, Van Wilder had come out by that point.
But I just get flashes of it's like, oh, she likes to listen to music when she slays. Like blah blah, and her like putting in like
Jessica
probably like a sponsored, like, you know, like putting in earbuds or
product
whatever,
placement.
Like
oh,
MP3.
100%.
You think so? And
absolutely, yeah.
And I remember the what's that show? Prison Break guy was Dracula. Am I remembering that right? Prison Break guy was hot back then.
I do remember hot Dracula in that movie, but I never actually watched Prison Break, so
neither did I.
I can't say for sure.
Before we jump into it, you may notice video listeners, but also audio listeners, that I look and sound shitty. I do not have a full setup, so I'm going to sound a little echoey and weird little pink lighting and stuff until I figure that all out, because one of the life things was moving.
Yes, Cal has moved. He's moved to a new satellite location of Lasercomb HQ.
That's right.
Yeah. Definitely no shade. I understand the audio plight. My last place that I lived in before this, if you recall, when I first moved in there, back in summer, or not summer, like spring of 2023. It was also kind of a similar. Yeah. It ended up being a pretty similar setup. It was a like empty room with like hardwood floor.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely was very echoey for the first like few weeks that we were recording in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I have noticed since I moved into the place that I'm currently living in now a few months back, that because this place is carpeted, I've noticed that like I definitely the acoustics are much better.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, because Christopher immediately when we were recording our Cal and Siege Super Show, which is our Patreon exclusive.
Yes, which you can listen to if you go to patreon.com/lazorcomb, LAZORCOMB, and subscribe for $5 a month.
That's right. And that's more us talking about real things rather than TV shows and movies and stuff, but also TV shows and movies and video games.
But also TV shows and movies and video games.
Mostly,
perhaps Metal Gear Solid.
Mostly Metal Gear Solid, if it's a video game, or The Dark Knight if it's a movie. And yeah, you can come check us out there. But I had mentioned, I had started talking, and he's like, yes, I can tell you are in a small room with hardwood floors.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
Yeah, you can definitely hear it, but
yeah, I mean, I can hear it just from my own voice, not even listening to playback. So I know it's not great, but we shall remedy that when we can.
It's not the best, but it's also not the worst, honestly.
Not unlistenable. Okay, that's good. That's good.
No, it's fine. But
I need to
yeah,
get
now that
carpets and carpet the walls.
carpet the walls, yeah, and put foam on the ceiling and the floor.
And the floor.
And
Carpet
the
the
floor.
walls and put reverse Bizarro recording world. It'll work. It's just strange. What was that movie with like them touching like the carpeted walls and being like,
Get him to the Greek.
yeah, it was Get Him to the Greek. Yeah.
I think they were high on ecstasy
That's what it was.
when they were doing it. Or when they were doing that in the movie. Yeah, they were
I
definitely
knew you
on
would remember
something.
that specific bit.
I remember
Get Him
that
to the
specific
Greek.
bit because I have been high on drugs and have done similar things to that. In
Like
in my
find a
younger
texture
days.
that you like. Yeah.
Yeah, and just feeling it like incessantly.
One of the things I would be interested in if I ever did anything like that would be going into one of those like sensory experience like huts in like Burning Man, right? Where like if people want to lie down, they can like lie down and it's like quiet and like water droplet sounds, or they can go into like the carpet room or the things like coming down from the ceiling room or the lights room or whatever. Who was
Burning
it that
Man.
told me? Yeah, I would never want to go to such a thing because I would become Burning Man. It can be overcast.
You would
spring or
literally
fall, and
you would
get a
literally set
sunburn.
yourself on fire.
The sun would set me on fire, but willingly going there would be choosing death.
You just step onto the beach and immediately are like, flame on!
Flame on.
Become the Human Torch.
What is Burning Man? It's like a giant salt like flat, right? Because it got mudded out last year.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've just heard people talk about Burning Man. I have never been to Burning Man. I would not be opposed to going to Burning Man, but
That's how I feel. I don't have a desire. Like, I know the people that are like, I've gone once, I'm gonna go every single year for the rest of my life. And I'm like, whoa, okay, wow, you really liked it. But like, I'm not
See,
opposed.
the thing is, I feel like you could get a similar vibe by just going to like an outdoor like beach party and doing a lot of drugs with a bunch of other people. Like I feel like you would get like a similar vibe, but I don't know. I've never been
privileged in
so
that.
So who can
We're
say?
privileged in that we kind of live in a granola, like.
True. Yeah.
We kind of live on Burning Man Island.
True. I've
trade and do
pretty much
and,
always grown up with a beach like nearby, so
and like hippies trading things for like feathers and conch shells and conch shells and witches. Like we already got that here.
Yeah. We're already digging through the ditches and burning through the witches.
All right. Well, that's our show, everybody. We dug through the witches and burned through the ditches.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to finally start talking about Blade.
Swinging a belt, left field, way back, Blue Jays win! The Blue Jays are World Series champions!
So, This week on the Lazy Cone Podcast, we are talking about Spike TV's Blade the series, which lasted for, I said 10 episodes earlier, I believe. It actually lasted for 13. The episode that we rolled in the random number generator is episode 8, Sacrifice, which originally aired on August 9th of 2006, almost 20 years ago now.
God damn.
Yeah.
God
I
damn.
was a grown-ass man.
That,
I was a grown-ass man in 2006.
how many of you had the red flame version of this toque? Oh, for American listeners, like beanie.
Beanie, yeah.
Yeah, but like I guess the difference is a beanie's for fashion and a toque is for warmth, because people say they're the same thing, but like they never heard the word toque. But Canadians all know what a beanie is. A toque can be way too hot unless it's cold out.
Yeah,
that's how I view the difference.
Well, there is no real difference, honestly. Like,
not really.
A toque is just what Canadians call beanies, but Americans, they're toques. They're not beanies.
God damn it. And it's spelled Toque.
Yeah.
But I swear everybody that was going to school in the early 2000s must have had this toque. And it's either it had red and orange flames, or like red and yellow flames.
So audio listeners, Cal is pointing to his background, which is a screenshot from this episode of Blade, and it has a one of the
the character that helps.
His guy in the chair, basically.
Everyone needs a chair.
Everyone needs a guy in the chair.
But instead of an old white dude that's mean to him, it's a cool dude that looks like he's from a Fast and Furious movie.
That's true, yeah. Black tank top, multiple chains.
Chains.
Kind of ripped, but not really. Ripped enough.
Yeah.
Ripped enough in that way when you're, like 23 and it's really easy to like get like kind of ripped if you just like lift once, basically.
Yeah. Lift once, get ripped, yeah.
So the toque that he's wearing is that toque that you saw everywhere in the 2000s, where it's like black but with like gray flames on it.
The ones I always saw were red flames.
Yeah. Sometimes yellow. Yeah.
I should find it. If I was better moved in, I'd be wearing it right now.
Right.
Or I'd be wearing sunglasses and holding one of my samurai swords.
If I had such things, I would also be sporting them on this episode of the podcast.
I should have gave you one of my swords for helping me move. Maybe I'll bring that over.
There we go. So this episode of Blade, Sacrifice. Now, full disclosure, you may have noticed, as we mentioned earlier, like life things kind of got in the way. So we haven't, you may have noticed that we haven't put out an episode in a few weeks. So I actually watched this episode of Blade like 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
And you remember every minute of it.
I remember absolutely everything about this episode. So I think we're just gonna like kind of blow through the Cliff Notes version of this.
And you know what? Probably for the best, because this fits an hour block.
Yep.
The show in general fits an hour block. Here's the thing. Here's the vibes, and before we blow through the summary of it. The B plot involves characters I have no idea who they are. They don't interact with Blade or anyone else, but they have their own storyline going on in the background.
Yep.
And it goes in between it being incredibly boring because it's serialized. They're talking about people they've interacted with, people that they've killed, turning some people into vampires, etc. Some sort of blue vials that do something, like are a safer way to make a stronger strain of vampirism or something like that.
I got the impression that was Blade's serum.
Oh, it's a serum.
That's Blade's serum that he uses in lieu of feeding, of drinking blood and feeding on humans. Now, in this episode, the implication is that giving a human being Blade's serum will also turn them into a vampire.
Oh.
Or So one of the subplots in the episode is vampire chick's mom's dying.
Yeah.
And
I actually didn't mind that. That
No,
was
no,
kind of interesting. I like this
and
side plot. Yeah.
spoilers for my rating at the episode, I guess. Rating at the end of the episode, I guess. I actually kind of liked this show. No, at the end of a pretty good subplot is a vampire chick is kind of dealing with the emotional labor of the fact that her mom is terminally ill, and she is
Not only that, I think she's having memory
yeah
dementia
she's
or
definitely
Alzheimer's. I mean,
yeah she's
because she
definitely
like thinks her daughter's like 6 and needs to go to school, and so there's some there was some sad human elements in that subplot.
her mom definitely has like Alzheimer's or like some sort of dementia, and she's dying. And her daughter, who is a vampire, is kind of wants to turn her mom into a vampire to save her life. And I think what she does is later on in the episode, she steals a bunch of Blade serums. So I think when she turns her mom into a vampire, that her mom won't have to feed on blood. She'll have this like supply of Blade serum, so she won't have to.
Oh, okay,
yeah. That's kind of the impression that I got.
Okay. And she works for some facility where people like they call humans that are like in on it familiars.
Yeah.
Like they know that like vampires control like everything.
That's something that carries over from the Blade movies as well. If you remember in that Blade first film, there's that like cop dude that Blade calls a familiar, and he talks about how pathetic they are.
Yeah. Which are essentially like also ghouls and Vampire the Masquerade. Basically like Rhett Renfield. Is that what's the yes, master. But in the normal world, people out there that do things for vampires in exchange for
in the hopes that they themselves will be like turned at some point.
Mm-hmm. And or Norman Reedus in Blade 2.
Oh, that was Norman Reedus, wasn't it?
Wait a second. That was Norman Reedus. Right? Years before Walking Dead fame. Holy shit.
Please. Death Stranding fame.
Death Stranding fame.
Silent Hills PT fame. Come on.
Silent Hills PT fame. RIP. The 3 people that actually saw the trailer and beat PT. When that first came out, I could not
PS4s with PT still installed on them actually still like go for like $1,000 on eBay.
Really?
Yeah.
And they just have.
I don't have a PS4 anymore, but I still have that shit backed up on a flash drive. So if I ever acquire another PS4, I will be able to just plug it in, restore, and be like, it's PT time, motherfuckers.
Boot it up to play, and then possibly sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rip a game that would have been legendary.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we got here? We got
Norman Reedus.
We got Norman Reedus.
In
we got Fast and the Furious. He's just wearing it to copy Blade's rad tribal tattoo. So Blade is from an
tribal
era.
Tattoos. From an era, yes. That picture behind you right there is from an era.
So we live in a society. This picture in my sorry audio listeners, but my background is, if you cannot tell me within the span of 5 years that this is from, you're way too young or way too old. You're like over 55 or you're under 20.
Yeah.
If you can't specifically tell me what year within a few years that this is from, because let me tell you, it came and it went.
The mid-2000s were a vibe.
they were their own thing. They're riding the coattails of The Matrix, but they didn't know where to go with it. So
Much like the
flames.
Wachowskis. Riding the coattails of the Matrix and not knowing where to go with it.
Oh fuck. Yeah. How do you recover from making one of the most cinematically important movies? So the Wachowskis had a blossoming career
That's right.
following the Matrix series.
Following that first Matrix film.
Yeah, with such great films as
Speed Racer.
you know what? I forgot. Was it one of the Wachowskis that did Speed Racer?
It was both of them.
It was both of them?
Yeah. What
That's
was that
so
sci-fi
weird.
movie that they came out with in the early 2010s? I keep
Aeon
thinking
Flux?
Cloud Atlas, but no, it's not Cloud Atlas.
Aeon Flux? Eon Flux? What? No?
No. Well, Aeon Flux was the 2000s, but no, that
Jupiter
wasn't that.
Rising?
Jupiter Rising. Jupiter Ascending. There we go. Jupiter
Ascending. Ah, we got there.
Jupiter Ascending, yeah. Which I've never seen.
I've never seen it either. Wasn't that
not heard
Channing
good
Tatum?
things. Was Channing Tatum.
I too have not heard good things.
Controversial
Who the heck were
opinion. I've never really liked Channing Tatum in anything.
What about 21 Jump Street?
No.
My name is Jeff. Okay. What about as Gambit?
No. I did appreciate. Okay, so I have shat on Deadpool and Wolverine more than most people.
Me too.
I did appreciate the joke that they had Channing Tatum, the guy who was really in the early 2010s, really trying to get a Gambit movie going, and it failed.
Mm-hmm.
It crashed and burned so hard. But I do appreciate the joke that in Deadpool and Wolverine they made him Gambit finally.
That there's a universe out there somewhere where that did get made. I
Yeah.
also really appreciate the joke that
It's also a movie nerd joke because it's like the average normie is not going to know that. They're going to be like,
and
"Oh, Channing
it's a
Tatum."
mirror, it's a multiverse movie. So the idea that there's a Channing Tatum Gambit movie that was made
Somewhere out there, yeah. There's a meta joke there that I actually appreciate. It might be
I
one of my
appreciate
favorite.
that too.
It might be one of my favorite things about that movie.
And also, I feel like he was told that his friend, his not French, his New Orleans accent is supposed like make it kind of bad
Yeah.
because like he's not passable as somebody with like the accent, but in a comical way.
I think they're bringing him back in Avengers Doomsday too.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm gonna make a name for myself. And they just had like fun with that. Yeah, we had mentioned that. It was like, wasn't Elektra? Didn't like Elektra pop up in that scene too?
Yeah, she was there.
Everyone's like, who's that? It's like, oh yeah, Elektra.
Yeah, the
bad Daredevil movie.
Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. There's this weird revisionist history going on, I find, with people our age, where it's like people are nostalgic for those like 2000s like superhero movies that people didn't fucking like at the time.
That people didn't fucking like and never liked, but like now there's kind of the no, I always liked that. The double think. What are you talking about? That was always an awesome movie. No, it fucking wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Fuck off. Daredevil was not good. Like that first movie with
Ben Affleck. That Elektra spin-off movie was even worse.
I watched Elektra. It was so bad. Daredevil and Elektra were so fucking bad. And this weird idea that there's like nostalgia. I know what you mean. There's like, and you know what? Gen Z is kind of up there with it too. Like I noticed like on TikTok, they're like listening to like Limp Bizkit and
Korn, Deftones, and Slipknot. Gen
Korn?
Z kids fucking love late 90s to early 2000s new metal.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like watching like the different TikToks with like break stuff.
Yeah.
It,
It's weird.
it's weird. Just throwing that out there. You know what
Yeah.
else is kind of weird? The TV show that we're covering, Blade,
SpikeTV.
Spike TV's Blade. Here's the thing. I feel like it could be very good for somebody who's really into it right from the beginning. But there are 3 or 4 plot points, including flashbacks, going on in this episode. And it never lingered on any of them long enough for me to become too interested in any one of them.
So
it quickly
the beats that are going on in this episode, we get a lot of flashbacks with Blade from when he was a kid, which I think is actually the most interesting part of the episode.
And kudos to the actors in those flashbacks. You got a kid playing Blade.
Yep.
They think he's sick or anemic or like something.
He's got something going on with him.
But then we find out his there's a cop
dad.
friend, his adopted dad, and like a caretaker lady, or maybe his dad's girlfriend, or I wasn't clear on that.
It's a bit of both. She's his nurse.
Know.
She kind of becomes his dad's girlfriend over time.
And they all kind of know. And there's like a cop like friend or whatever.
Yeah.
And in these, they want to show a lot of like what happens. Like, oh, that's where he got the blade. Oh, like this is what happened. Whistler shows up in the flashbacks.
Yeah. Which, this show is supposed to be canon with the movies. This episode completely fucking breaks that, because in the movies, Whistler specifically mentions that he first encountered Blade living on the streets. Like when Blade was a kid living on the streets, like just feeding on other homeless people.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
When I found you, you were just a blah, blah. And in this, it makes it seem like he's like a vampire hunter. He's like with an organization or something. And he's like, listen up. Your kid gonna have all the advantages of being a vampire.
There's this like
none of the disadvantages.
The cop friend is like, okay, so I have someone I can call who knows something about this, who can help him. Which is just like hilarious to me. It's like, oh, my friend's like kid is like feeding on blood and like attacking people and becoming like ravenous. I just so happen to know a guy that I can call who is an expert in this exact situation. Whistler,
hello,
come on
Mr.
over,
dude. Can you bring that? Can you bring that duffel bag with the shuriken, holy water, and swords in?
That is such a like TV/movie cliche.
When he said, "I know a guy," I was not expecting Whistler.
I kind of was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We also find out.
I was like, "This is going to be Whistler." Like this is where the show is going with this.
We find out how he's crippled, because Whistler in the movies is mostly one-legged. Like he can kind of walk, but it's like with a brace and like whatever. And we find out it was actually Eric Blade, as a kid, who very visceral scene. Some of these you can tell when they pull away from showing certain things for TV, but like his shin goes all the way back, and I'm like, that guy would be screaming way more. And he's like, oh, I'm fine, just get him. And I'm like, I'm fine.
Okay, that man is going to age into becoming Chris Christopherson. Okay,
that's fair.
If anyone cannot make a sound when his shin is busted in half, it's that man.
It's like, oh, I'm fine, go after the kid or whatever. And I laughed at that part where it like shows his like shin, not even at his knee, like dislocating or something, and maybe you can move it back, but like the immovable part of your shin get fucking rocked right back. And he's like, I'm fine. And I'm like, wow, holy shit.
Not my shin, but I can say, as someone who has actually like snapped a bone and had it protruding from the skin, if you're in a situation where like your adrenaline is going enough, you will not notice.
I've heard that people have like looked at their arm and they've gone, holy shit. And
when I was when I was a teenager, I was in a pretty like brutal fight that actually led to like a bone like snapping and protruding out of my hand. And I didn't actually notice until maybe a half hour later when like a girl whose house we were hanging out at just looked at my hand, just looked at me and started screaming because there was like blood and like a bone sticking out.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it can happen.
Yeah, I've never had things. I'm like a shitty unbreakable. I've never broken any big things, but like I've fractured so many fingers from rugby and like football and like whatever being a kid and like that kind of thing, and like toes, and like I've had splints like all over the place. Part of my something over here, what is that called, the clavicle, or like something over here got dislocated, and or I can't remember, but I've never had like anything like break because I've never met Blade.
So yeah,
what's going on? We have flashbacks,
so
which
flashbacks
I thought were kind of cool.
Best part of the episode, in my opinion. I was going to say real quick, this episode, in these flashback scenes, it does fall into the prequelitis syndrome, which you kind of touched on, where it's like a lot of prequels of basically like any movie.
I feel like that
show
actually hurt the show.
Has a tendency to like over-explain or foreshadow like absolutely everything.
And we don't need, like, here's the thing about Blade, right? When he's showing up, Wesley Snipes, sunglasses, all this stuff, right? I don't actually need to know why he favors like a samurai sword.
Sometimes less is more.
And him randomly just stumbling into the dojo, but it having nothing to do with, maybe in later episodes, somebody actually teaches him or whatever, right? But it's that prequelitis, like you were saying, like he stops and he like picks up a samurai sword and he's like, oh, cool. And he puts it back down. And then he notices that the family friend,
what a cool
that guy
sword.
with like
this might be important later.
This might, I'll have to come back for this later. I don't need this now. I don't need this now.
It's one of the big things that I hate about prequels. I've gone on record many times in the past about my general disdain for prequels in general.
And they did it 2 times in one scene. It was like, here's the samurai sword.
Yeah.
And that's how Whistler's leg was broken.
Yeah.
And it was like,
that's how Whistler got his limp.
I guess like you don't need to do that. You can just, okay. But if it doesn't lend to anything, like, is anybody like, sitting there like,
his limp could just be that he has like arthritis. Like, it could just be that, you know?
Or he got shot and numb. Like, it lit there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's in the 90s and like he's old enough that he knows all these weapons and explosive systems in the movies.
Well, yeah, and the flashbacks are clearly in the 70s, and that's when Whistler is young. So, like, he could have fought in Vietnam. Like, that's where his like limp could have come from. Or, like I said, it could just be something as innocuous as like he has arthritis, or like, I don't know, he was like mopping the floor like one day and like slipped.
And fucking slipped. Yeah.
Not everything like needs to have meaning in a story.
Or not only that, but like, characteristics of a person are interesting but don't define them, and when you stop to define them for the sake of being like, oh, then you're not making a story that's interesting. You're making a story to explain a better thing, right? Like, we don't need explanations for everything.
The Star Wars prequels.
It's been so many years. I've only ever seen like 2 of the sequels. I never saw like the lava fight, and I never saw episode 3.
That's actually the best one,
which apparently is the best one. Oh, speaking of like rose like tinted glasses, like the kind of like nostalgia for bad things, everybody forgets that those were terrible movies.
Yeah.
And everybody like looks back at them like they were maybe,
and now
they're better compared to.
Well, and now we have a lot of people who were children when those movies came out. Like we were teenagers / young adults when those movies came out. But we have an entire generation of people now who are adults, who were children when those movies came out, who are nostalgic for them. So that on that level, I completely understand. But there's even people our age who are all like, "Oh, the prequels were great. They always were great." And it's like, no, they weren't.
No, and you did not like them.
You did not like Star Wars Episode
together,
1 in 1999. Fuck off. You also didn't like Fantastic Four in 2005. Fuck off.
Right.
Stop lying to me and
didn't.
yourself.
Nobody did. You're lying. You're lying. Press X to doubt. So we've got flashback plot beat. We've got a blonde working for an organization and trying to bring her mom back. Plot point.
Yeah.
We have Blade chasing down another vampire.
So one of the reasons for the flashbacks in this episode is he encounters a kid later in the flashbacks who tries to kill his dad, and he ends up attacking these kids and turning.
Oh, they're like robbing a store.
Yeah. He ends up attacking these kids because they're gonna like hurt his dad, and turns one of them into a vampire. Now, in the present, one of those kids grows up along with Blade and is now a vampire and has showed up to like get revenge, I guess. He's played by Bokeem Woodbine.
Okay, see, I was looking and I'm like, this guy kind of looks like a thick Dave Chappelle.
Bokeem Woodbine, fantastic actor. He's a fairly like big name. He's been a fairly big name actor for the past like decade or so now. So it was kind of cool seeing him as like a young guy
when it
before he was famous.
When it introduced him, I was like, "Is this Blade?" Because it's a bald black guy and he's a vampire at the beginning, and I'm like, "Is this Blade?" He kind of looks like a cross between Tracy Morgan and Dave Chappelle. And then I find out, no, this is like the antagonist of the episode. And that plot point goes through a lot happens. It's a long ass 40 minutes. We find out that he knows that
Emmy Award nominated actor Bokeem Woodbine, presumably for his role in Fargo.
Presumably for his role in Blade.
Anyway, I like Bokeem Woodbine as an actor quite a bit, so it was kind of fun seeing this episode, seeing him in like a random like guest role, like a decade before he became famous.
Mm-hmm. And there's a CSI scene because like this is it the lady or this guy? I can't remember who, but someone's actual CSI. And the funniest shit happened. He like turns to all the other police and he's like, "Hey, I need the room empty for blah blah blah." And all the detectives and the police leave. I need to do a science. But like they're already walking around and stuff. I don't think CSI can tell everybody to leave for 5 minutes so a vampire can come in and have a conversation with you. I found that fucking hilarious when he's like, "Leave," and Blade just comes out of the shadows and he's like, "Oh, the fingerprint on this and the gunpowder like blowback, like he didn't kill himself." And then they like reach into his mouth.
Scene exists in 2022's The Batman,
including taking something out of the mouth, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
isn't there something in
I think
mouth?
So, yeah. But there is that exact scene where there's like a crime scene and Gordon like tells all the cops to leave, and they're like, and Batman literally just like looms out of the shadows.
I think he just shows up with the police around. Like they just put up with him.
They put up with him, but there is a bit where like I think where Gordon like tells the cops to leave the room, and like
I should rewatch it.
The one cop is just like, "This is bullshit, man. You can't trust him," and he's like, "I've got it."
What a trope. I didn't know it was a trope before, but now that I'm thinking about it, in the Batman, in this, there's a bunch of other things where like somebody comes in and they like reach in, and specifically Seven. I want to see the movie Seven, but
which the Batman is very inspired by,
and
distractingly so in my case.
one of the problems you had, very quick aside, I know we've gone on tangents, that you had with the Batman is it wears all of its inspirations on its sleeve.
Yeah.
Like just like right out there. Like
props.
oh,
That is
from
the exact way that I phrased it like a few years ago after I first saw the movie. So props to you for like remembering that.
And anybody that's watched any amount of movies can go, yeah. And indeed, there's a clue in this dead crooked cop. I don't know the significance of faking this guy's death, but the bad guy, he's killed. He's forced to shoot himself in the head at the beginning.
Yeah.
He has something in his mouth, and CSI guy is like, "Oh, whoa, what is this?" And Blade's like, "This was meant for me." And kudos. I thought it was going to be like, "Oh, I don't know if you can sell me on this guy being Blade." No, he like within a couple minutes, I'm like, okay, he seems like a younger, inexperienced Blade.
Yeah, Blade in the show is played by rapper Sticky Fingers.
Ooh.
Whom I actually, even before this, like I was aware of him because he had a recurring role in The Shield. So I like Sticky Fingers. Okay. I like Sticky Fingers as an actor.
And they got all the vibes, right? Like, like guy in the chair, his contacts, taking down vampires, that kind of thing, right? And it culminates into, again, a lot happens in one fucking episode. He goes back to his old apartment where he has flashbacks here and there of him being a kid, right? Him breaking free. And he's confronted by bad guy men. Now, here's where things fell apart for me. I didn't pick up the connection there because this guy's like, "Oh, your dad's still alive." And he's like, "What do you mean? There's a hospital scene where Blade saves an old lady from drowning?"
Yeah, it's his it's his nurse. It's the nurse lady from the flashbacks, yeah.
Oh shit. So like helped raise him basically. Oh, okay, that was the importance. Because he was like really emotionally connected to this lady, and I'm like, "Oh, who is this?" And that's the nurse, right?
It's nurse lady, yeah.
And so she was saved. So at least there's that. And so who is this bad guy? He's the guy that Eric bit in the flashback?
Yeah. He's one of
that shot his dad.
He's the kid who shot his dad in the flashbacks, yeah.
So he didn't die. He was like infected and turned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still grew up, weirdly enough, even though he became a vampire, which kind of goes against vampire lore. But
well, they were like young adults that were robbing them, not like small kids. Like
they were like teenagers.
They seemed like teenagers, right? Yeah.
But he still grew into like a full-grown like Bokeem Woodbine.
Yeah, he's like 40. He's like... Imagine becoming a vampire like in your prime. I wouldn't want to as a teenager. Maybe 25. And then you still age, and you're like, "Oh, this is bullshit."
30. If I could have become a vampire at 30, I think when I was 30 is when I probably looked the best.
28, and assuming that you also take on like the most best form of yourself, 25 to like 30.
Yeah,
for me. But I was also really fit.
I was also really fit when I was 30.
I was still getting ID'd. Like 30 to 35. Like I looked 22 to 25 up until I was like early 30s, and then like I steadily started looking like my age, and I'm like, "Ah, shit."
It was me for me, it was like when I turned 35. All of a sudden, I gained 30 pounds all in my gut. Gray hair just starts coming in.
Yeah, I thought it was like bald, like on camera. I'd be like, "Am I balding?" But like these are white patches.
Yeah.
This weird little patch there, and I'm like, "Oh shit." But then like I'll like look in a mirror and I'll be like, "Oh, that's like a little white chunks there."
I'm kind of afraid to let my hair grow out now, just because like I've either been like clean, like I've either had my head shaved or I've dyed it for the past like 5 or so years now. So I'm like I'm kind of afraid to see just how gray I am, because you see a lot of gray in my facial hair now.
Yeah. You know what was weird for me? It wasn't just like here and here. it's evenly body hair as well. Like 1 out of every like 8 chest hairs is like white. And I'm like, oh, what? That's weird.
We're getting old, man.
We're getting old. I can't wait for like the old man like hair out of the ears. I don't want it, but you ever seen like those old people and like their eyebrows are like 2 inches like long, and they got like hair coming out of their nose and their ears, and you're
Trim
like,
that shit.
are you turning right?
Trim that shit. Mark my words, when I'm an old man and I have hair coming out of weird places, I'm going to trim that shit. But speaking of old men, Blade finds out his dad is alive. Bokeem Woodbine. Well, actually, no, not Bokeem Woodbine. Nurse lady says, "Oh, your father is alive." He's like, "No, he's not. I saw him die." And she's like, "No, but he is. I pinky swears. He is. He's alive." And so Bokeem Woodbine kidnaps his dad. And so Blade goes to his childhood home, fights Bokeem Woodbine. He dies unceremoniously.
Going to lose, but his dad...
His
takes
dad
Blade's sword, because Blade's weapons are silver, and stabs both of them. Blade goes like, oh, because he's just stabbed through the kidney or the heart, right? Yeah. But in this universe, if
Blade is immune to silver,
if vampires take lethal blows from silver, then they actually ash. Then they go and like turn into a skeleton and like will actually like die. But apparently not if their arms cut off. But Blade, it'll still fucking hurt. He can still be like crippled and hurt, but he heals fast. And I guess his dad knew this. So stabbing through Blade, he kills bad guy and then pulls the sword out and gives it back to Blade. So like while he's like holding his side in this dark apartment, after he just like fought like another vampire like to the death and his dad stabs him, he's like reunited. What if that's like the most awkward reunion, right? Like you're like stabbed through the kidneys by your dad, but you understand that you'll survive, and but also like you thought he's been dead and your dad's like, oh, I had to like
I had
this
to tell you.
This bothered me. It felt like prequelitis, like you had said. Like,
I had to pretend I was dead, so you could be strong, son.
What a trope! I don't know, man.
I do appreciate that Blade's attitude was like, "Fuck off." He's like, "No, I'm alive now, so I'm ready to be your dad. I'm ready to be your dad. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to get out of this fucking house, or I will kill you myself."
Oh, does he say something like that?
Something along those lines, yeah. So as someone who also has a absentee father who has like dawdled back into my life, like periodically being all like, "Hey, I'm your dad." I appreciate Blade just being like, "No, fuck you, man."
Yeah, and they briefly talk about like the shit that he had to go through and how terrible it was. And he's like, man, I was so messed up. I got tribal tattoos.
And
you know how stupid this is going to look in 10 years?
And my friend over there is wearing a knit cap with flames on it. Flames. You know what?
He has one of those like wallet chains that connects to his jeans. What were those called? Do you remember those like chains that like went to your fucking wallet? They were supposed to.
What were
like,
those jeans called? Jenko jeans?
Or the chain. The chain was just like a wallet chain, or just I was one of the kids with the wallet chain.
I never sported I never rocked a wallet chain, but I did rock the Jenko jeans.
Yeah, I was the baggy jeans, the skate shoes. The like oh god, like late 90s that I kept going into the 2000s, like button-up t-shirt, like what do you like Hawaiian shirt but like with flames or marijuana leaves.
Oh yeah. Something you would see Guy Fieri wearing today.
Exactly like that with the button down. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know the type. They were so fucking big. All into the 2010s as well. Like they were popular
that lasted
for
a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like that one, I rode that one out. And they have to be oversized, otherwise
Yeah.
you just
Oh,
look
of
like
course.
a chump. Yeah. Only recently have I become a Jersey person. Yeah, Jersey person. But I don't know if I could rock the flame knit cap anymore. I'll have to try. Or maybe we just let tribal tattoos.
If anyone can do it, it's probably you.
If anyone can. And this guy. Like if I saw this guy now,
that guy who looks like he wandered off. He was like an unpaid like extra on the set of Fast and the Furious 4.
And he just accidentally wandered, went back in time to star in Blade.
Well, Fast and the Furious 4 was around that time.
Oh fuck yeah. Well, hang on, when was Fast and Furious?
The first one was like 2001.
I saw when they started.
I saw Too Fast, Too Furious in theaters in like 2003, I think.
Hear me out. I think that those movies are fun. I can't wait for them to go to space.
That's what everyone keeps saying, but
yeah,
who knows?
What was Fast Five? I don't remember which one, but they like rode the like supercar out of like the Burj Khalifa and like landed it in like another like skyscraper in like Dubai or something like that. I can't remember. I do remember they were chasing, was it a submarine, and getting shot at by like space missiles? Or am I confusing that with like James Bond? Well, whatever.
Either or.
But anyways, yeah, he's reunited with his father. He says, fuck off.
That's pretty much the episode. I think we can probably call it here. Yeah, we're going to take one more break. And when we come back, I am going to ask Cal the eternal question, or Cal is going to ask me. Which one? You'll find out when we come back.
New, the double crust sandwich. Egg and meat and cheese and meat and cheese. That's right. The double crust sandwich. Wake up with the king.
All right. So you did the intro, so it's your turn to ask me the question.
Well. Here we are, year of our overlords, 2025. Watching Blade, a SpikeTV production. You just watched Sacrifice.
Yep, I sure did.
Would let's just say you randomly watched this episode and caught this. Would Christopher Siege tune in next week?
I would actually. We yada-yada'd pretty hard through this episode, partially because, as I mentioned at the top of the podcast, I watched this a few weeks ago now. I quite enjoyed this, despite some of my prequelitis gripes that I had with it. I thought it was pretty decent. Didn't love it, didn't hate it, kind of liked it, you know? I would.
Yeah.
I would tune in. I would watch it again if it was randomly on TV when I turned on the tube, you know?
Maybe not on a Friday night, but like Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah. As for myself, this is hard. I would normally say no because so much of it was boring, but it was boring because I didn't know any of it's like there's so many characters and there's multiple different plot lines, but I was interested in enough in them that I would go, well, hang on, what's it doing with this world, with this like setup? Because there's like an organization that's like trying to like genetically manipulate and create stronger vampires.
Yeah, there's some kind of vampire mob in the episode that we
There's
didn't
literally
mention. That's
a
like
vampire
led.
mob. Yeah.
That's like led by a little girl.
I thought that was really funny because we already have like a mafia kind of like bit in the laser comb. And so it was like, now we got a vampire, and we already do like a vampire bit sometimes.
I watched a vampire mob movie from 1992 last night called
I saw
Innocent
your
Blood.
review.
It's not very good, but
No. But you said, but vampire mob boss. That's
kind of fun.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I cannot combine the Transylvania accent with the mafia boss accent, and I'm not going to try. What I'm going to say is its weakness and why I wouldn't tune in next week is also its strength and why I'm more interested in it.
Because this is a nice store you have here. Be a real shame if something were to happen to it. Ha ha ha. Perhaps you'll be sleeping with the fishes.
I like that interpretation that you just did, where it's mostly Transylvanian accent, but saying things like a mafia boss.
Yeah.
I imagine like him coming out of a coffin, like 1931, and then it like fast forwards to like 1930s, and he's like saying things like the mafioso do, but he has the exact same accent.
Hey, we're going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
That's right, a ghoul. Now, Tony, you and him go collect the protection money. Capiche?
And get some calzones on your way back.
Not for me, but for you, of course. I would watch that. And the idea, because they have vampire powers, right? The idea that they have vampire powers and they can just like hypnotize and make people do what they want.
Yeah.
Hey, boss, you want us to go teach Ricky a lesson? It's like, no, don't just scare him. Don't hurt him too badly. The idea that he's completely like dressed up, like he has a cape, fangs, like long nails and everything, but just like everybody regards him like he looks like just a normal like mafioso mob boss.
Yeah.
And like nobody talks about it. And then whenever new people see him, they're like, is that a fucking vampire? Whoa, hey, ho, whoa, you come into our restaurant, our place, legitimate place of business.
And you come into our legitimate place of business here, and you're gonna fucking disrespect the boss like that? You're gonna call him a fucking vamp? Get the fuck out of here.
You're lucky we don't you're lucky we don't we care enough about you to not have to report you to the boss. Let's just say he's got a thing about blood.
He's got a way of dealing with people like you, and you're not gonna like it. It may leave you feeling how can I say drained afterward. So
and no, that has nothing to do with where he's from. It's just a coincidence. But I'm on the fence with. I think yes, because I think this would be good episode 1 onwards watch. Like, I think everything that happened in this would be satisfying to know that weird like rivalry with the blonde and then that like brunette that shows up to steal the serum after she kills her mom, which I completely fucking forgot about. So she like ends her mom's misery by holding a pillow over her. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I love you. And fucking kills her because you need to die. As anyone that's familiar with any fucking vampire thing.
James Sunderland style. Holds a pillow over her face.
You need to die before you can like be turned. But then as she turns to like turn her mom into like a vampire, the serum's like stolen.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And then the fourth like story is following this like police officer who's like piecing things together and finding out that like what the fuck is going on. Remember that just random police officer that shows up at the end?
No.
And he's like, freeze. And he points at the two like vampires, and both the vampire chicks like turn to him and go, and he goes, oh shit.
Credits.
That's how the episode ends.
No, I don't remember that at all, actually. Which says a lot about the randomness of that cop. But yeah,
there we go. We're both gonna tune in next week.
It seems like we're
even though we don't really remember.
It seems like we're in agreement of like slightly liking this show, and yeah. Well, that was episode 141 of the Lazorcomb podcast. Best way to support the show, go to patreon.com/Lazorcomb, LAZORCOMB. Starting at the $5 tier, you get access to our bonus weekly Patreon exclusive show, the Super Cal and Siege Super Show. $10 tier, you get that. You get the occasional commentary track and the ability to pick a show for us to review a random episode of on this very podcast. So if you want to get in on that, go to patreon.com/Lazorcomb. Join the Discord if you want to interact with us. Link in the description, as always. We're going to take next week off from the show. But we will be back in 2 weeks' time with our new programming block. We're going to keep the horror going, as mentioned earlier, with November to Dismember. And we're going to kick that off by watching a random episode of the 2017 series, The Mist. So to find out what episode of The Mist we're going to watch, I'm going to hit screen share and share the screen. Not that screen, this screen. Who scream? We all scream for ice cream.
We all scream.
We all scream. There are 10 episodes of The Mist, so I'm going to go to the old random number generator.
Excuse me, princess.
So one episode between 1 and 10, and here we go. Where it stops, only Dracul knows. 8. Landed on 8. Was it great, or were you 8? Rough. So, I wonder if I can move this. So the share
that one, yeah.
The share screen bar for
it's
Zoom
weird, yeah,
is above like the tabs of
weird.
my browser. Which so every time I hover my mouse pointer over to like change tabs, it like brings like the drop down for like the Zoom like share screen thing. It's so fucking annoying. Episode 8, The Law of Nature from August 10th. Another August episode. 2017. I'm not going to read that wall of text, so I'm just going to go into this blind. And we'll be back next time with episode 142 of the Lazorcomb podcast. And until then, I've been one of your hosts, Legacy of Siege.
And I'm beginning to believe NeoCal.
Thanks for listening. We will ice skate you uphill next time.
These motherfuckers on our motherfucking vampires on this motherfucking train.
Bye-bye.
I like to watch TV, the horror channel I like to see. lagoon. Creepy crawlies crawling round my creepy house, dance round my bedroom when we are a sleepy house. Ghouls and ghosts and the walking dead dance in circles around my bed. Incubus, succubus, aliens too, headless horsemen, the wandering Jew, werewolf creatures howling at the moon, three witches to curse my mommy's tomb. The Bible bashers came to town and knocked upon our door. A giant swift ate their child, they don't come here no more. In the living room we built a little bar where we drink fresh blood and strum guitars. The zombies give music and singing lessons. Frankenstein's monster gives tap dancing lessons. Creepy crawlies crawling round my creepy house, dance round my bedroom when we are a sleepy house. Ghouls and ghosts and the walking dead dance in circles around my bed. Incubus, succubus, aliens too, headless horsemen, the wandering Jew, werewolf creatures howling at the moon, three witches to curse my mommy's tomb. Creepy crawlies crawling round my creepy house, dance round my bedroom when we are a sleepy house. Ghouls and ghosts and the walking dead dance in circles around my bed. Incubus, succubus, aliens too, headless horsemen, the wandering Jew, werewolf creatures howling at the moon, three witches to curse my mommy's tomb.